Bishop Ekwe comments on the insecurity in the nation. Anglican priest speaks on the importance of Valentine. General Secretary Acnn Archbishop Kwashi announces new appointment for Daniel Willis. Hello there, thank you for joining us on ACNN News on the Hour. I'm Phoebe Agirenhue. The Diocesan of Niger West Diocese Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Johnson Ekwe, has in strong terms condemned the rate of kidnappings and killings in the country. According to him, it is disheartening that Nigerians are no longer safe in their homes and also cannot travel freely any longer because of the insecurity in the country. Right Reverend Ekwe made this known during an interview with ACNN News correspondent Nwane Ogechukwu in Abuja.
I'm so much disturbed about the state of the nation, particularly on area of security. Lives are being wasted in every nook and cranny and street and corners of this country. There are incidences of kidnapping, raping and gruesome murder. And of course, the Fulani herdsmen menace is there, and people cannot guarantee safety, both in their homes and even on the ways. It's becoming a kind of death trap to travel these days. The things seem to be overwhelming, that beyond the control of the security system, the police and the armed forces and whatever. So it's quite heart-rending and disturbing that lives are wasted every day in this country. People are being killed like fowls, and everybody is jittery about it, feeling concerned about it. And then the tension this is creating is actually also giving us, the ministers and the pastors and bishops, very big cause for worry.
The Bishop of Diocese of Okuka Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Tubo Kosime Abere, has assured the leadership of the Bible Society of Nigeria, Rivers Bayelsa area, of his continued support. He gave this indication when the executives of the area paid a courtesy visit to him at Okrika, headquarters in Rivers State. Commending the laudable programs of BSN in the propagation of the gospel of Jesus Christ in the area of translating the Bible into indigenous languages, the bishop promised to continue to advise churches within the diocese to cooperate with BSN to achieve its aims and objectives. Meanwhile, the area chairman, Elder Harmony Ayo Tamino, thanked the bishop and the diocese for the unique hosting of the Southern Zonal meeting held in his cathedral and for his readiness to host the society anytime he is called upon, and also for being in the forefront of supporting the society in its programs. The bishop was also intimated about the Right and Build for God, the Bible Week celebration, using the Bible as gift item customized during special occasion. He also requested that the BSN be vividly mentioned in the bishop's handover note to whoever will succeed him. An Anglican priest with the Diocese of Abuja has urged the church to take advantage of the Valentine season to bring unity to homes and help the young ones to align themselves with the will of God in marriage. According to him, the church has a great role to play when it comes to home building. Hence, the need for the church to organize programs during the season to help couples renew their vows and to teach the young ones how to know the will of God for their lives and in marriage. Reverend Kano Ovio Zemerue, the vicar of St. Philip's Anglican Church, Gwarimpa, made this assertion during an interview with ACNN News correspondent Nwane Ogechukwu.
The roots of Valentine's Day celebration is rooted in love. And as a Christian, I see it as something that we can utilize for the benefit of mankind, the benefit of our church members. In one of the churches where I served, every February 14th, we used to do couples love dates. And on that day, we bring couples together and they get dressed, we have dinner, we have talk on marriage, and on that same day, they renew their marital vows. For the youths, we can also approach it from the angle of teaching them true value in relationships, how to find the right partner, and how to maintain your marriage, and how to stay in love within the confine of the will of God. We can use the Valentine to make more impact in the lives of married couples, in the life of youths.
To politics now, reactions continue to trail in on the Supreme Court verdict, where a five-man panel of the Apex Court led by Justice Mary Peter Odili ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to withdraw the certificate of return issued to the All Progressives Congress candidate, Leon, as the winner of the November 16, 2019 governorship election in the state. An Anglican priest in the Diocese of Abuja, Anglican Communion, Reverend Barrister Chinomso Anozie, has reacted to the verdict, revealing the legal implication.
The Supreme Court, through that judgment, has once again proved that indeed they are the personification of justice. Having said that, through the judgment that was rendered, that shows that Supreme Court knows what they are doing. And when you look at that legal implication, it shows that it's not that there's a legal problem where David Leon is, but it's because of the deputy, where there was forgery of certificates and everything. And so that shows that indeed what the deputy governor-elect, now that has been sacked, did is indeed a criminal act. And I must have to say that this has gone far to also awaken the members of the public that for everybody who wants to contest election, whatever thing you must declare soundly whom you are. The issue of forgery is a criminal matter. It's something that the law will not just take it like that. So the Supreme Court have indeed demonstrated that indeed they are the personification of justice.
He further advised the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Adams Oshomole, to be mindful of his utterances following the judgment of the Supreme Court on the Bayelsa State governorship election, urging the federal government to call him to order.
I want to use this opportunity to advise the APC national chairman, Adams Oshomole, to please be fast to retrace his step. The statement by him saying that nobody will be sworn in as governor in Bayelsa State is not only a shame, but rape and disgrace to democracy. Nobody is above the law. So federal government should indeed call him to order so that his actions will not lead their country to a destructive area.
Still to come, Church of England General Synod sets 2030 target. That story and more will come your way in a moment. Please stay tuned.
We want to welcome you to Kigali, Rwanda. This is a country called a land of 1,000 years. It is also a country of 1,000 smiles, plus one, which is mine. We are preparing for you. We are ready to receive you as archbishops and bishops. We want you to come and experience Rwanda, but also have the fellowship of bishops, and also it is important that you come. One, because we are preparing for you and we are ready to welcome you. Second, because we want to be faithful preachers and proclaimers of the gospel, faithfully to the nations. So this is going to be a crucial time, a moment of fellowship, a moment of building networks, a moment of where all the bishops can be an encouragement to one another.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on ACNNTV. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and audio programs, download the VM Africa app for Android from Google Play Store. Now to the international scene. The General Secretary GAFCON, Archbishop Benjamin Kwashi, has announced the appointment of Colonel Daniel Willis from Australia as a new operations manager for GAFCON. According to the General Secretary, Colonel Daniel Willis, as known by many, was responsible for organizing Jerusalem 2018 under the direction of the then General Secretary, and as such comes with considerable experience in business, leadership, and in pastoral ministry, both locally and internationally. Colonel Willis is to take over from Canon Charles Raven, who has been acting in this position in the interim when Mr. James Stallman had to step down as operations manager for health reasons. Colonel Willis will take up his new role on March 1st. Christians have been admonished to heed to the commandments of Christ, who instructed everyone to preach the gospel to every creature and bring them to God's kingdom. This admonition was given by the Diocesan Bishop of the West and Missionary Bishop of Acnn, USA Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Felix Oji, during his sermon at the Diocesan Worship and Prayer Service at Holy Trinity Cathedral Church, Houston, Texas.
God has called you personally, individually, by name, because He knows who you are. And God has called us together to worship Him, to draw people to Him and into His kingdom, so that people will receive His blessing, so that people will receive His command. Remember Matthew chapter 28, verse 16 to 20. Jesus said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." That is our mission. Our mission is to worship Him. Our mission is to serve Him. Our mission is to go out into the world and make disciples of all nations and bring them to Jesus, to connect people with God, to point people to God, so that they can receive the blessings of the new covenant.
In the meantime, Christians have been admonished to forget every ugly situations they have been through or are presently going through, but instead they should look up to God and hold on to His promises as stated in Isaiah 43:19. This was the admonition of the vicar of the Anglican Church of Pentecost, Philippines, and also the founder of African Prayer Network Worldwide, the Reverend Chima Nzewi, during his sermon at their monthly prayer outreach. According to him, Christians should live a life of constant praise to God, adding that God, who has promised, is capable of fulfilling His promises. The Church of England's General Synod has set new targets for all parts of the Church to work to become carbon net zero by 2030. At its February 2020 meeting, members voted in favor of a revised date, encouraging all parts of the Church of England to take action and wrap up efforts to reduce emissions. A motion approved called for urgent steps to examine requirements to reach the new target and draw up an action plan. The amendment by Canon Professor Martin Gainsborough introduced a more ambitious target date of 2030, 15 years ahead of the original proposal, which follows the launch of the Church of England's first ever Green Lent campaign for 2020, featuring 40 days of prayers and actions to encourage care for God's creation. Meanwhile, the Church of England has also announced an energy footprinting tool for parishes to calculate their carbon footprint. On a sad note, 18 people, including a Christian nurse, were murdered by militant gunmen in Ladamo village, Burkina Faso. In an attack that began late on the 9th of 1st February, the unidentified heavily armed militants arrived in the village on motorbikes and selectively picked out civilians before killing them. Amongst the dead was Christian Robert Miligo, a senior nurse who had traveled to help those suffering in the terror-afflicted zone. Despite the known risks from Islamist militant activity, many people have already fled to safer towns and villages in the central north. A local church leader reported that the victims were selectively killed by the militants, and this attack came a week after a jihadi ultimatum was sent out demanding the community to leave the region, bringing widespread panic to the village and surrounding area. And in sports, Nigeria's the Tigress and Butler Bulldog Women Basketball Club guard, Upe Atsu, has stated that Nigeria will shock the world at this year's Olympic Games in the women's basketball event, on the strength of the teams showing at the recently concluded Olympic qualifying tournament, which also indicated progress made by the team with an improved FIBA World Ranking. Atsu, speaking with newsmen, expressed delight at Nigeria's return to the Olympics basketball women event after missing back-to-back edition of the Games. She also commended her colleagues for getting the job done and stressed that the improved ranking is an indication of the potential of the team and how much shock they will cause at the Olympics proper. And that's it on the news. Thanks for being with us. My name is Phoebe Agireyu. Do have yourselves a lovely day and weekend. God bless.